The college football experience, Western Michigan Broncos 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our very own Patreon. Yes, score exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 first place prize. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Fantasy is offering you a chance to win $15 million in prizes with Best Ball Mania 4. Yes, use the promo code SGPN and Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. We're also brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now. Use the promo code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code SGP. We're also brought to you by our College Football Bankroll Challenge. Yes, up to $3,000 is up for grabs. Get all the details over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bankroll. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bankroll. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience, Western Michigan Broncos 2023 season preview episode. I know you're probably sitting there saying, hey, the season for WMU is starting tonight. Colby, what the hell are you doing here? Well, look, I mean, I got sick a couple days and it got derailed. We also had 3 days without internet in the office. So as long as I get it out before the kick, I feel like we're in the clear here, right? We can talk about if you want to be able to bet on Western Michigan over or under. So I appreciate you tuning in to check us out. But yeah, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
Oh, is it easy to see a tide turn when you got a brand new head football coach? Tim Lester, that era is over. You could argue, 3 bowl games, 6 years, 36-32. He's a former Bronco himself. A win at Pitt, who won the ACC that year. You might be able to argue that he was doing a damn good job. I get it. He had a 4-7 season. That was actually his only losing season of his career. But at the same time, he followed PJ Fleck, and PJ Fleck had, a 1-11 season, then 8-5, then 8-5, and then 13-1. And really, really got the thing going. But I kind of thought I was a little harsh on Lester. I kind of felt like they should have gave him another year, maybe 2. But now the Lance Taylor era begins, the former Alabama wideout, if memory serves me correct. I remember him. He was also with the Jets in the, somewhere around the 2010s. And spent time with, I think, David Shaw at Stanford. And he was at Notre Dame and Louisville. So interesting hire because he has no connection to the university as far as I know. But interesting hire, and we'll see how this works out. Perhaps, I just don't know that needed to pull the plug on Lester. I don't know that they needed to do that. So I think that makes it even more interesting. But nowadays when you hire somebody, the transfer portal can be such a weapon. I don't think it's like before where you got to give them time. And maybe that's what happened. I don't know with Lester. I'm not sure. But either way, I think this is going to be fascinating to watch this year. We love the Maction Tuesday, Wednesday night games. And I'm excited to talk about the Lance Taylor era beginning in Kalamazoo. And remember also that, we're going to have Michael Barker join us in a little bit to talk about his experiences to Waldo's, a.k.a. the Liquor Pitchers, Waldo Stadium there in Kalamazoo. Shout out to EJ in the chat. He's wondering where the picks are. Picks page. Get the SGPN app. You'll get access to all of our picks. So hop on over there and check out that. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about this team. But and we will go through the offense, the defense, the transfer portal, the special teams, and then we'll take a look at the schedule, go game by game on the schedule, and then, like I said, Michael Barker is going to join us to talk about his experiences to Kalamazoo to catch a game. I strongly urge people, if you're in the area, go catch a game at Waldo Stadium. But look, before we do all that, I want to tell you that the College Football Experience Western Michigan 2023 season preview episode is brought to you by the College Football Bankroll Challenge. Yes, college football is back, and it's time to celebrate. Yes, SGPN is giving away a bunch of cash in our College Football Bankroll Challenge. Here's all you got to do. It's free to enter. Season-long contest. $1,000 for first place, $500 for second, but the prize doubles to $2,000, essentially for first, and $1,000 for second. If you're a Patreon member for the college football season, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bankroll or click the link in the app. Once again, the app is free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. We're also brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Yes, college football fans, are you ready for week one? DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking you up with a can't-miss offer to start the season off strong. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on any college football bet and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Look, anything can happen in college football. We've seen it. Your team can go from unranked to dynasty mode in just a couple of years. Change comes fast. The only thing that's a lock these days is great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. I've talked about this. I like Colorado plus the 21 at TCU. Life's more fun when you're in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. So only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code SGP. Once again, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See DraftKings.sportsbook. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. All right, we are back on the College Football Experience. And also, if you're wondering about the picks, we released a whole episode covering every single game the night before. So go check out that. That episode is out there, just like it will be every single week. We've been doing this shit for years. Let's talk about the portal, though, because obviously mass exodus, anytime you have a coaching change, you're going to get this crazy exodus, I feel like. So, obviously I think the big ones that stand out, they had some key players on this team. I think Braden Fisk, the defensive lineman, that really, 24/7 Sports are saying he was a stud, 4-star transfer. I know if you watch the film, he was pretty good. He heads out to the Florida State Seminoles. It's a big loss there. Sean Tyler, their star running back from a year ago, heads out to the Minnesota Golden Gophers with guess who? PJ Fleck. They also lost. They lost Ryan Seelig. They lost a slew of players. Corey Crooms. So their top wideout, Corey Crooms, went to PJ Fleck and Minnesota as well. And same with linebacker Ryan Seelig heading out to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Also, defensive end Andre Carter going to the Indiana Hoosiers. When you put all that together, you're sitting there like, man, what am I missing here? That's a lot of players that are playing at big-time programs that won a lot of games last year. I think Florida State won, 10 games? Minnesota won, 8 or 9? Yeah, it's some big losses. But they also lost a kicker in Thagio Caps Cronenberg. He is still in the portal, according to 24/7 Sports. But besides that, I do believe that is everybody that has been lost in the portal, at least according to this. Actually, no. Defensive lineman Kenny Givens also in the portal. I don't see a place where he landed. Same with Kentrell Beck at the running back position. Incoming, though, incoming, they were able to go out and capitalize some. Hayden Wolff, it's a nice get. I thought at Old Dominion he had games where he looked all right. The Old Dominion starting quarterback comes over to Western Michigan. Interesting that he would leave ODU and go to Western Michigan, but that's a substantial get. They also got Keshawn King. Once again, it's a running back from Virginia Tech. This guy averaged 6 yards a rush a season ago. It's a nice get for both to be coming in from those Virginia schools. They also got cornerback Bilal Cone from Indiana State, the Sycamores, projected to be a good team in the FCS this year. Also, safety Tate Halleck from the Michigan State Spartans. Seems to be a nice little get there as well. And I think being able to talk back Marshawn Nealand needs to be noted as well, a defensive lineman. They also brought in offensive tackle Chad Schuster from the Syracuse Orange. That is a nice get there, and I believe that would highlight everybody they brought in. Might be missing. This thing always changes. I mean, I still think that they lost the portal. There's no way around it. But I do think they responded better than what I thought. You know, for most first-year coaches, they responded better than I thought. Now, you take a look at this offense from a season ago, and I don't know how relevant these numbers are, considering it's a completely different offensive philosophy. But, they bring back 8 starters that started college football games. So you look into that and you say, okay, that's not so bad. But they were 118th in scoring offense a year ago. All right. 98th in rush offense, 120th in pass offense, starting at the 124th best offense. That's not good. That's just really not good. I know they lost Caleb Ellaby, but they were also breaking in a freshman quarterback who I think's got some talent. But anyway, Hayden Wolff comes in. They still have Jack Salpek, the freshman that played in the Michigan State game. They also have Treyson Bourguet. So they got 3 guys with like starting experience. You got to like that. Keshawn King comes in from Virginia Tech, as I alluded to. The wide receiver position, they lose Crooms, but they return Anthony Sambuki and also Jelani Galloway. Look for Kenny Womack to be the third guy there, a transfer from Sacred Heart. Tight end is a position I think they feel very solid about. Austin Hentz is back. They also have Blake Bosma and Mitch Bortle. So I think they're solid there at the tight end spot. They return 4 of 5 on the offensive line. So the offensive line is going to get better, I think. Highlighted by left tackle Michael Shanahan, the former Texas Tech Red Raider. The defensive side of the ball. So first off, let me just say, I think the offense will be better than 124th. I think last year was just unfortunate. Ellaby, they weren't expecting Ellaby to come out early. It happened, and I think the offense will be better this year by default of bringing back all these guys. The defensive side of the ball, which will be very intriguing. By the way, the new OC is Billy Kosh, who comes over from the Richmond Spiders, runs the air raid. It was also at VMI prior to that, when VMI had some great success. The defensive side of the ball. Lou Esposito is the new DC there. Well, actually, no. He's actually I think he's being retained. And that makes it very interesting because they only returned 2 starters on the defensive side of the ball. Marshawn Nealand, the guy that they talked back, is one of the lone returners, the only returner on the defensive line. They're breaking in a lot of youth on the defensive line. Mason Nelson, Tyson Lee, Corey Walker, all those guys, underclassmen that are projected to be starters day one for the Broncos here. Linebacking core, they bring in the Purdue transfer, Jacob Wahlberg. They also have the Minnesota transfer, Donald Willis. Once again, none of them starting experience, so they're breaking in brand new linebackers. Also, Damari Roberson in the mix there as well, who got, one start a season ago, played in 12 games, though. The secondary, they only return 1, and that's Kenji Lovely at the cornerback spot. They're counting on Bilal Kane, the Indiana State transfer, to be starting, and also Tate Halleck, the Michigan State transfer, to be starting as a safety. Also, Aaron Wofford, a sophomore, to step up, who got in 1 game of action a season ago. I don't know. Defense side of the ball, I expect a lot of regression because last year they were 49th in scoring defense, 47th in rush defense, 44th in pass defense, 38th in total defense. So I think there's no way that they stay afloat defensively. Special teams wise, their kicker, Palmer Domscheit, is back. Also, Carson Voss is the new punter in town. So yeah, I expect the offense to be better than it was a season ago. The defense to be a lot worse than it was a season ago. I think you can bank on that. Let's get to the schedule. But before we get to the schedule, I want to tell you folks out there that the college football experience, Western Michigan Broncos 2023 season preview episode, is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Look, it's fantasy football season. You got to get your fantasy football shit together. Get championship ready for your home league by trying out Best Ball on Underdog Fantasy. All you have to do if you've never done Best Ball is one live draft. That's a snake draft. No waivers, no trades. You set it, you forget about it, and boom, Underdog's going to do the rest. Try out Underdogs. Underdog's got this awesome Best Ball Mania tournament. It's the largest fantasy football contest of all time, with $15 million in total prizes up for grabs, including an absurd $3 million going to the winner. Do you have what it takes to win it? Let me ask you, do you have what it takes to win it all? Let's go, baby. The time is now. Jump in, because they're shutting that door on September 7th. All right, visit UnderdogFantasy.com. Find them in the App Store. Sign up with the promo code SGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Once again, that's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We're also brought to you by Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. Yes, look, make sure you check out the Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon to get access to exclusive contests, including the NFL Win Totals contest with a $1,000 first place prize. This week's weekly patron pick'em is all week one college football, baby. And the prize is a cornhole board, perfect for any college football tailgate. Look, the Patreon is a great way to support the network and fight back against corporate gambling. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon. All right, we are back on the college football experience. Shout out to Tristan Williams in the chat. Yeah, I am feeling a little bit better today. Still a little under the weather, but you know, football's back, so I can just I think I'm feeling better naturally. But appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you asking about me, Tristan. Hope you're well, and appreciate you tuning in, man. Looking at this win total here, this is one that I find very, very interesting, because you look at Western Michigan, and I think you say 3.5 wins. This team's been a lot better than that over the years. Let's get into it, because tonight they play a game against St. Francis, PA. And St. Francis, PA was a playoff team a year ago. So it's going to be a dicey game. First time coach, never been a head coach there. So it's going to be fascinating to watch that one. I lean Western Michigan, but of course, I think this game could be close. But let's put it at 1-0. So right there, all you need is 3 more wins. And unfortunately, the next 3 games for Western Michigan, all on the road against bowl teams from a season ago. They head to the Carrier Dome to take on Syracuse. I mean, I have to take Syracuse, even though it wouldn't shock me if Western Michigan beat Syracuse. We've seen Western Michigan beat Pitt a couple years ago. I thought they kept it respectable against Michigan State last year, and Michigan State pulled away late. So it wouldn't shock me. Then they're at Iowa. I do expect them to lose, and I would be shocked if they won that one. And then they're at Toledo, who won the MAC a season ago. So I expect them to be 1-3 heading into a home matchup against Ball State on September 30th. Now, maybe they can get Ball State, but I'm kind of bullish on what Ball State did in the portal. So I think Ball State's ahead of them. So I will say 1-4 in the month of September. And then it doesn't get any easier, because you head to Starkville, Mississippi, take on the Cowbells and the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. I don't think that's a winnable game. I think that is it's going to result in 1-5. Then you're home to Miami, Ohio for homecoming. I think Miami, Ohio is pretty loaded this year, as long as Gabbert stays healthy. I think 1-6 is what you're looking at there. Then at Ohio, Curtis Rourke, and these are the breaks. 1-7. I think Ohio's really very good. Then you're at the factory taking on Eastern Michigan. Winnable, because Eastern Michigan plays so many close games, but I would still favor Eastern Michigan. So I would say 1-7. Home to Central Michigan on a Tuesday. I still think Central's ahead of them right now. But I'll put it like this. I'll give you, between Ball State, Eastern Michigan, and Central Michigan, I'll give you a second win by November 7th. Then at Northern Illinois, home to Bowling Green. I think they're a dog at Northern Illinois. I do think they're capable of beating Bowling Green. But at most, I see 3 wins here. And being 3-9, I think the under is a pretty solid play for Western Michigan. So I think you load up on the under. I think it's a pretty good play. Folks, before we get out of here, I got a chance to sit down with Michael Barker to talk about his experiences to Kalamazoo. So with no further ado, let's go to that interview. Joining me on the college football experience, Western Michigan Broncos 2023 season preview is none other than Michael Barker, a.k.a. College Football Campus Tour. Yes, on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour. It's a must follow because Michael does unbelievable work. I mean, I didn't know this person before a Twitter algorithm hooked me up and said, hey, this is someone that is pretty much shares the passion that I do, but I don't even have the passion to be on 37 million airplanes a year. I mean, I would like to, but Michael does. Michael goes to 5, 6, 7 games a week, folks. He's been to every single FBS stadium, all 133 of them, for games, not just to visit the stadiums. Lots of them multiple times. He's been to a lot of the FCS, a lot of D2, D3, and he documents all of his travel via his Twitter page, and it's really professionally done. It's not like, hey, you're talking about, the new summer movie. No, this is a guy that's just showing you stadiums and the history of stadiums, and he takes the photo of the game. It's just fantastic. Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show to talk about Waldo Stadium, and my brother NC Nick would say, make sure you check out Waldo's for the liquor pictures after the game also. But how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, and you talk about. Thank you for having me. First of all, you talk about passion. We all have passion. We do it in certain ways. I certainly couldn't do all the shows that you do. So, and then as far as getting on the airplanes, I have a joke. I call it #GlamourLife, because the games are great, but everything in between is travel, and you have to do it out of love. And I'm sure you can relate to that. Recording all these shows, you love it, but it's a responsibility, and it produces great results, obviously. So, but I'm excited to talk about Waldo. Us being passionate college football fans, we love Maction, and Western Michigan is on annually Maction.
Yeah, and Kalamazoo seems like a fun place to catch a game. I'm doing the Google image now, and I think I'm seeing some of these photos from the Fleck era, and they got a new coach, and they got new hopes and ambitions there. Anytime you hire a new coach, and yeah, I mean, I love those weekday games. We love those weekday games. Tell me a little bit about the history of Waldo Stadium.
So it opened in 1939. The original seating capacity was 15,000. They've actually played on the same site since 1914, and it has doubled in capacity since it opened. It's now 30,000 seats. It's the largest stadium in the MAC. The record crowd was 36,361 in the year 2000 versus Indiana State. They've had field turf since 2006, and they've been very successful in the 21st century. They're 72-39 since the year 2000 at Waldo Stadium.
Wow. I didn't know that. That is impressive. Yeah, my brother says if you go to the game, there's a bar called Waldo's right outside of the stadium, and you go get liquor pitchers there. And ever since he told me this, I'm like, I got to get over there on a Tuesday night, catch some action, and then some liquor action at Waldo's. Tell me how many times you've been there, man.
So I've been there for 2 games as a traveler. When you're trying to stack, if there's 133 FBS stadiums and there's 12 or 13 full college Saturdays, well, if you only go to games on Saturdays, it's going to take you 10, 11 years to see them all. So when we get these Maction games, you can stack Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Love them. So I've been to 2 games at Waldo. One was in 2019. One was in 2012 or 2022 last year. Last year was a great game. They battled NIU, and they lost 24-21. But it was unseasonably warm, which in some ways you're very thankful being up in Kalamazoo. But, the story and being in the elements, you want that cold game. So I know they have a home game. You mentioned Coach Taylor. The direction of the program is definitely trending up. And I'm anticipating getting back out to Waldo either this year or definitely next year.
Yeah, I got to get there, man. I got to get there for a game. And, folks, you got to get over to Twitter and give them a follow at CFB Campus Tour. Unbelievable stuff. And Michael was telling me his travel schedule before the episode for week 1. And it's absolutely insane, folks. It's like 5, 6, 7 airplanes, I feel like, just that alone, let alone other forms of travel. Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show. And maybe one day I'll catch you at Waldo Stadium, brother.
Yeah, we got Waldo. We got Kelly Shorts, we got Reinerson, all MAC schools, all in the state of Michigan. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You want to do that with me? I'll drive.
Hell yeah, man. You're goddamn right I do. I love some college football games on the weekdays, and MACtion is what sells me. We love college football. We love regionality in college football, and the MAC certainly has not forgot about the roots of that. Some would say they're the heartbeat of college football in 2023. Michael, I look forward to seeing your travels, man, and thanks again for hopping on the show.
Yes, sir, Colby. Thank you very much for having me.
Anytime, man. Take care. Michael Barker, I got to get out to Waldo Stadium, folks, and you do too if you are in the Michigan area. What are you doing? What do you got? You don't got shit going on. Get out to a football game. Support it. Folks, give Michael a follow on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour. I'm telling you, his travel schedule is phenomenal. Also, I'm on Twitter at the Colby D. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Give us all a follow. Please, if you can, hop on over to iTunes, Spotify. The College Football Experience can be heard wherever podcasts can be found, all of our podcasts. But if you can, give us 5 stars. We'd certainly appreciate that. And I host the College Football Experience. This is that. But I also host the FCS College Football Experience, the College Basketball Experience, the College Baseball Experience, and we have the Big 12 Experience out now, too. Check out all of those solo podcasts on their own feeds. We put them all together on YouTube, youtube.com/The College Experience. So subscribe over there and hope you enjoy this. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast as they break down all 32 NFL teams. Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. The season is here, people. So come talk ball with us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. And until next time, this is the College Football Experience, Western Michigan Broncos style. Buck 'em Broncos. And you better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
We can really rock you. Did you know to get in the books we written in the games?